So I guess I'll show you the hassle you have to go through if you just cut out or relieve these ahead of time instead of tracing gussets. Now, this is a real stupid mistake, but you know, this is my first time ever doing this. I should have watched Algie Yates's video, but what you got to do is get some parchment paper and trace these points as accurately as you can, and then just connect them. And then once you get it done, you just gotta work at it. They never come out just perfect, so you gotta sit there. This one here is like solid. I'm gonna have some gaps. That one has no gaps. This one here, now T88 is a good gap filler. Now that's a very tiny gap. There you go. That's a very tiny gap, very slight gap. And I believe a lot of that is touching, actually. It might just be the angle of the cut. But anyways, T88 is a good filler. It's not a joint, but it will contribute a little bit to the strength. Here, these. I'm going to go ahead and fill those two corners in. I believe the other two are pretty tight. So, yeah, it's a real hassle. But if you want to relieve weight, it's way better than the way I did those, where I put the on top. I put the plywood up on top and then just rounded it off. And I can't express the importance of keeping your tail light. I can't express that enough, because it's nothing to add a few ounces to your tail. But trying to take away, I mean, what do you do? Fill it with helium? No, you got to take it apart and remove something, or redo something, or you got to put ballast in the front. But it has to be in front of the center of gravity. So whatever ballast you have to put in has to be up on the firewall, and it's not nearly as effective as, 6-7 feet back here. Now the next thing I got to do is get a stool. It's about as high as a seat on my airplane, about 8 inches or something. Get a stick, lean against the wall. If you got a low chair, something that's relatively similar to the plane that you have. Oh, well, you're building a plane. Well, you can still do this in preparation for your, and you just practice. Now, normally I have the throttle in my left hand, stick in my right. And some people have to close their eyes. I do better with my eyes open, and then just visualize normal takeoffs, normal landings, and dancing. If you're building a tail wheel, you want to be dancing, and picture your nose just the slightest momentum to the left, and punching right rudder and back, and then and then left a little bit to stop it. It's a dance on them pedals, and then of course pretend there's a crosswind, and use your stick for, throw your stick to the right or left based on the crosswind, and then pop the tail up, and then pull back on it when you think you're about to come off. If it doesn't come off, just put it back up. 1 second, pop back again, it comes up, forward on the stick slightly, level off just a little bit, get your airspeed up, and then just keep it at about 40 miles an hour in the FP202, and then do your landing. Then you want to visualize issues like a gust hitting you, or an engine out, or I had a stall on landing, and you'll see even real experienced stall pilots. They stall and have a wing drop on landing, you know, coming in on a short landing. They'll throw the aileron, and that's dangerous. That'll just guarantee they usually cartwheel off the one wingtip. No, I practice all the time. I do chair flying, so when it happened to me, and you shouldn't put yourself in a situation, but if you get in the situation, I kicked full, you know, just nudge central on the stick. It already was, but just nudge it forward slightly, even though your nose is dropping and you're going to the ground and you're only 50 feet up. Nudge it forward slightly, kick full right rudder. I was going to my left wing was dropping because a left quarterly, rear quarterly gust hit me from behind, and I was just too close to my stall speed. And 5 mile an hour, faster, I should have been fine. But anyways, kick full right rudder, throttle all the way up, and nudge the stick forward. I had them all done within less than probably a half second. The rudder was instant, and you can see a video. It's one of my videos down there, and you can see I drop right out of the vision of the camera, and then my son gets me back in the camera, and my left wing just barely misses the ground, and then it comes out. And that's whenever I went slightly off the edge of the runway because I was at an angle and hit the tractor ruts and flipped the plane while going about 6 or 7 mile an hour. So anyways, that's what I'll be doing next, or doing while I'm doing this build, because the weather's getting good. It's almost time to get back out in the plane.